Master Angler Episode 4, The Fall Season Fish. You know, we're actually very close to being done with this series. Master Angler Episode 5 is going to be about winter fishing, and Episode 6 is going to wrap it up with the crab pot fishing. And while getting good at the fishing minigame and unlocking the achievement to catch all of the fish in the game is its own reward, you will also be given a star drop at the end of it for those of you who want something a bit more tangible to your character. What we're going to be doing in this episode is the same in all of the previous episodes. We are going to catch all of the fish in the fall season with the exception of the all-season fish. Those are the fish that are not seasonally restricted. They're available in all 4 seasons because we already caught those all in the first and original episode of Master Angler. Now, I have a question for you, aspiring master anglers, but first, let's get the fishing chart up for this episode so that we can visualize what fish we're going to be catching. And here is our chart. It shows the fish that we're going to be catching in the fall season. 3 of the fish are fall exclusives, including the angler, which is the legendary fish. All of the other fish on this list are available in 2 or 3 seasons, but not 4, because then it would be an all-season fish. The panels include times of the day that the fish can be caught in. If no time is there, it means it's available at any time. There are also icons to let you know that the fish is part of a community center bundle, or if the fish requires a certain weather condition, such as raining, in order to be caught. At any rate, here's the question I want to ask, and I will offer my take on the question at the end of the video. But what I want is for you to tell me what you think before you hear that. So comment down below what you think, and we'll compare our answers. The question is, do you think that the fishing minigame is too difficult? And should you download mods, specifically on the PC version, to reduce the difficulty of the fishing minigame? Okay, enough of this talking BS. Let's get to the fishing. We're going to start with ocean fishing, and we're going to save the rainy day fish for last. First up is the anchovy, and this is a very common fish, very easy to catch, very low value. There's nothing else to say about the anchovy. Next up is the sardine, which, like the anchovy, is very common and very low value. The difference, though, is that it can only be caught between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. You'll find a lot of fish are like that, and it is also part of the ocean fishing bundle. Next up is the sea cucumber, a slightly less common fish. It too is available between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m., and it has the added benefit of being one of Willie's favorite gifts, so a great way to gain friendship with him. Then we have the tilapia, a fish that's available between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. Woo! Such a rebel, breaking away from the 6 to 7 pattern, and most importantly, it is for the ocean fishing bundle. Next up is the albacore, a fish that has 2 different windows that you can catch it in. First, really early in the morning between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m., then it disappears and reappears again starting at 6 p.m. until 2 a.m. But now we face off against the dreaded super cucumber, which is a fairly uncommon fish available between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. It's actually worth a solid amount of money, and it does put up quite a bit of a fight. It is one of the fish that I'll hear people say they would like to be easier. Alright, let's move on to the last 2 ocean fish. These ones can only be caught when it's raining, starting with the red snapper, a fish that can only be caught between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. while it's raining. It's for the ocean fishing bundle, and it'll probably take a few casts to get. I find that they are somewhat uncommon. And the other rainy day fish for the ocean is the eel, a fish that can only be caught between 4 p.m. and 2 a.m., meaning that you'll have to wait until later in the day to get it, and it's also for the night fishing bundle. Keep in mind that this fish does have a moderately high difficulty. It's not quite as hard as the super cucumber, but when you hook it, it'll shoot right off pretty quickly, and that's how you know you've hooked an eel. Alright, goodbye SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs. We are done with the ocean, and we are getting a change of scenery into the river, and we're going to start with the smallmouth bass. This fish can be caught anytime in any river, and it's pretty much the sardine and the anchovy of the river fish. It's low value, it's fairly common, there's really not much to the smallmouth bass. Up next, though, is the salmon, our first fall season exclusive fish. It is available in any river between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. But it's no match for the tiger trout, a fish that can only be caught in Pelican Town section of the river between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m., and it is for the river fishing bundle. Bear in mind that it is a relatively difficult fish to catch. It is a great fish to train against. Now for the rainy weather fish in the river, first up is the shad, a fish available between 9 a.m. and 2 a.m., kind of an interesting time bracket, and it is for the river fishing bundle. Next up is the walleye, our second fall season exclusive fish, and it's also one of the fish that I mentioned can also be caught in the mountain lake. This fish can only be caught between 12 p.m. and 2 a.m., and it is for the night fishing bundle. And the last of the rainy weather river fish is the catfish, which is for the river fishing bundle. It's worth an okay amount of money, and it also puts up quite a bit of a fight, having a moderately high difficulty rating. Now, I've saved the legendary fish, the angler, and the last of the fall season exclusives for last. In order to catch it, you're going to have to fish in a specific place. Follow me on screen, north past the Joja Mart to this little bridge, and cast like I do. The fish is relatively uncommon, and if you're looking specifically for the angler, then just cast, catch, and if it's not the boss fish with his little hat on, then just abandon the fish and recast until you get it. The angler is actually really not that difficult. It was the first legendary fish that I caught, so it's a great way to kind of break into the high difficulty fish catching. And that is it. We have caught all of the fish for the fall season with the exception of the all-season fish. Here's what my inventory looks like, and this is what I basically caught before I got one of every fish on the diagram. And now I want to go ahead and answer my original question that I posed to you. Is the fishing minigame too difficult, and should you be downloading mods to reduce the difficulty of the game? I think you're going to find that my answer is predictable, but my justification is not. First, I do want to create an exception. There was a man on the Stardew Valley forum who talked about an injury that he got in his hand, and it was very painful to play the game. And so I understand in situations like that, where you've got some kind of injury that makes it difficult to play, that's understandable. For the rest of us, though, where we don't have some kind of deficiency out of our control or some kind of impairment, I don't think we should be modding the game to make it easier, and this is why. What I read on the forum is this perception that the intent of the game was not to be difficult. That wasn't a goal of the game. And this strikes me as a dangerous habit to generate, because our personality and our beliefs are created from patterns in our life. If we have a pattern of lowering the difficulty of things to our expectation instead of rising up and getting good and overcoming challenges, that is going to make it difficult to face other challenges in life. You might think it's silly that, hey, this is just a video game, but remember, our hobbies are still a component of us. If we lead a life where our goal is to make things easier, then when we must face something challenging, such as diabetes, weight loss, building muscle, talking to girls, something that is challenging, it's going to be very difficult to do so if you lead a life where you want difficulty brought down to your level rather than rising up, getting good, and answering the call of challenge. So yes, the start of a get good lifestyle of conquest might just start with getting good at the fishing minigame. At any rate, like my video if it helped you, subscribe for future Stardew Valley content, and remember that you don't have to be good to get good.